All right, so the plan for today on the Altis Sigma MX is to put a new set of tires on. I've been running these stock knobbies and I ride 80-90% street, so I am swapping them over to some Shinko 241s and trying that out. So first things first, let's get this wheel off. Alright, tire off. Is changing a tire as much fun as everyone says? And yes, it is. I do have this little stand that I just happen to have. Not necessary. You can use a bucket, you can use a garbage can, you can use a fancy stand. Let's see, 12 millimeter rim lock, but you know what? Front tire doesn't even have a rim lock. Use this on the rear tire, which I already changed. Little bead buddy here. And he wants a good set of spoons. Spoons are better than the tire irons. They have like this little bend, this little hook, and it's a much smoother metal. And as you're going around the rim, it leaves less marks if you're careful. And a core tool here. And the core tool just lets the air out of the tire. One helpful, I've got this extra silk, extra seal tire bead lubricant, tire paste, bead paste, tire setting, anything. Soap and water works. Soap and water will work as well. I am going to, just because I have a bead breaker here, I'm going to use this just to break the bead. Pretty easy. So this is not difficult. You don't even need to use that. You can break it on these tires just by pushing down, since I had that first one started especially. And then with my wrench here, I am just going to loosening the valve here for my tire. And I'm just going to take that all the way off because this tube's coming all the way out. And I've got the bead broken on this side. Let me flip it over. Not necessary to use this device, but if you have it, it certainly doesn't make it harder. So if you're pulling these off and you want to just break the bead, you can just slip this in this way and break it down. Just slip it in, break it down. You're just pulling that tire off of the rim, basically. So you can just use spoons if you don't have a bead breaker, no worries. But for us, we do want to take our lube and get it. Basically, you want to get this in just enough that it catches the lip of the tire, but we're not catching the tube so much. So just coming around nice and gentle, and I'm setting that under the rotor here. Then I'm just going to go grab some more. Now you're just rolling this over, so you're not scratching. You just want to roll the metal over. And it's getting easier as we go. And so that side all the way off, and go to the other side. And just starting again. Having 3 is nice, but you can do it with 2. I like 3. And boom. Alright, it's all the way off. So we just take the tire, peel it off, pull it out, and your wheel is free. We're going to reuse this tube. I did set this tire out in the sun just to help it with flexibility and getting it on. At this point, people will add some baby powder, talcum powder, in the tube. Not to really help with it going on, but just to kind of protect the tube a little more from rubbing its contact with the tire itself. It doesn't come with any, I just don't have any at the moment, or else I would have done that step. So the tube in with just a little bit of air, about a little air in there is helpful. And the whole goal here is to avoid a pinch flat, which is pretty much you pinching the tube with your tire spoon and putting a hole in it. We'll just want to grab the nut for the valve stem. Pull the tube out a little bit so I've got the valve, and I can just kind of thread it. And once you got the valve in, go ahead and put that screw about 1/3 of the way on that nut. Put it about 1/3 of the way on, just to hold your tube in place, and then we can work this. Get the lube. Alright, so I've kind of pushed this tire up and on, and I'm just going to use my spoon to go. This, so you want to keep this in the drop. Not doing it fast, but it's getting there. There we go. All right, and as you roll over, it is not really, if you're gentle, it doesn't scratch. If you use the knot spoons and like the tire irons that are like squared off with little ridges, the least expensive ones you can find, they leave marks every time you do a bite there. But a good spoons won't do that. All right, so let's see. Got this. Feel the tube, so I don't want to pinch it, but I just want to fold this over. All right. Got it. All right, now we're gonna air it up. I'm going to like 45, and then we'll back it down. All right, so that's about it. Not too much to it. It's just a matter of having patience and doing it a few times, I suppose. And then you can change your own tires. So we'll just take this, put it on the bike and see how she rides. All right, so we are looking good with the Shinko 241s. 19 by 2.75 on the front, And then on the back, we're working with the 241 16x3. So more all around on-road, off-road tread pattern with these trials tires than the stock knobbies that came on the Altis. All right, first ride. So I do feel like the front tire, the wall is higher. Maybe the bike feels a little taller than with the stock tires. Woo. And already the ride is much smoother on the pavement. It feels good. Coming up, it is heavier, the front tire. I'm assuming both tires are probably heavier than the stock. So the bike has a little more momentum. I could feel it a bit when I go for the wheelie there, but it feels good. When I land, it's heavier coming down. It's not a bad thing, it's just an observation. I have a big smile. I'm super happy with these tires right now, just from the mile or two I've gone on road and a little off road. It's got some traction. It's certainly not going to be the same as before with the knobbies, but if I was to be in the grass and just give it goes. So we'll trade the sidewalk for a little bit off-road here. Little trail. Oh, it goes. Why change from the stock tires? My previous bike had Super Moto wheels, so I went from 1919 to 1717 with the OEM Super Moto wheels, which I loved, and for ride outs and for everything in the city, and for 90% of the time I'm riding, I am on the street. There's a reason why these Shinko trial tires are so popular, is that they're a great compromise all around for riding. Already, this ride is much smoother. Now my goal is to have Super Moto tires on the Altis. That's my goal, but there's not an easy path there. It's all kind of a workaround right now. Altis did just post up a rear wheel, and I went and I thought, well, I'm just gonna buy this, and I'll just put a tire on the front, I'll put a Supermoto on the back, and call it a day, keeping my original. I was thinking maybe I'd even go 1919 with street tires. Not true Supermoto, but you know, perfect for ride outs and whatnot, and for playing in the street. That got me thinking more and more about what exactly I'm gonna do with my tires. The wheel sets weren't coming together or being available. Warp 9 and some other options are coming. You can use some existing wheel sets, and by having custom spacers made, you can get the sprocket to line up close enough with the front sprocket, and go from there. That's a solution I've seen a rider piece together, but again, it was a long way around. I just really want a pair of Supermoto wheels, probably 17 with street tires, and then keep the stock OEM knobby tires for dirt bike. When I've ridden this bike off-road with the stock setup on the MX, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great. So really, going for the 241s just was my compromise. I'm not getting Supermotos right now, but I am getting a smoother ride with these tires, and all is well. All right, we'll get off the path. Oh, wow. That is a lot of water. Yep, so with the leaves, it definitely slides more, to be expected. Definitely slides more. When it's got this grass to connect with, the traction's not bad. I'm gonna drop some pressure. Also, the ride is that much smoother. I'm not gonna say it feels like I'm on clouds, but there was just that rough rumble of the stock knobbies that I don't have now, which is pretty nice. Does make me it does make me want to downsize this front wheel for a true Supermoto, but all in time. Nice. I feel a lot better on that rear wheel on these tires than the knobbies. To be expected. Altis Sigma MX Shinko 241 trial tire install is a success. Super happy with how she rides. Pretty happy with how she looks. All is well. Thanks for watching. And if you want to ask me anything, hit me up in the comments below.